apologies for the slightly late connection here to the server. There were a couple GoTV issues going on behind the scenes.
There wouldn't be a day of Counter-Strike without GoTV issues.
It's not just an ESCA specific thing at times, but yes, there
Yeah.
does seem to be quite a lot of GoTV issues in the air this
They're
this
still working
fall
out
and
the
winter
kinks.
season.
It's only like a 10-year-old game. They're figuring it out.
Wiz
Walker will
and
grab it
yeah.
through the smoke there as Wiz grabs Beaky at the mid. Hext also going to fall up on JT as he comes up through that connector, and Freshy left has an island here at the bottom of the connector, will also be picked up by Hex there. And another round goes the way of RBG Esports here, moving into round 5. I probably have to see a light by here. Actually, they're going to force it. One player grabbing that AK, the rest on pistols and some armor. So we see a deagle in the hands of JT. We'll see if he can get a 1D here. Get something started for the boys.
Oh
Shut
boy.
out as well as Beaky. They all got to go down straight out the gate as Hex and Walco are just fighting together there for some really quick early frags, and Wiz will clean it up as Freshy does eventually grab Hex, but
Yeah, strong defense there from RBG, despite that being an eco from Eros.
we do get a buy round here out of Eros, so they are going to have rifles for this one. Still going to have to deal with Wiz, though, with that off. He's going to be a major player probably in this round. The off having so much potential on the map of Mirage. Beaky's going to make contact with Jitter down in the lower halls, but he decides better of it. He's going to move back up into the top of B with his friends. JT, a good nade into the connector, gets Walco down to 87 HP. He's going to make the contact there with them in mid as Eros and the boys get themselves into the site. JT eventually will go down, but Freshie grabs the entry frag onto the site with killing Hex there. They're going to get the bomb down, and they're going to set up for a pretty good hold here. Jitter's making his way through the B halls. Gets spotted by Omniscient, but he is able to get the frag there before he gets headshot down to 9 HP. Gun is spotted from Freshie there, and he's going to finish up that frag. And now Chop's going to move up into his place. Chop and Walco combining together there to grab 2 more kills. It's down to BQ on a 1v2. Unfortunately, he's going to get naded by Walco with a well-placed nade to the front of that door of the market. And they will defuse the bomb.
Yeah, solid B attempt there from Eros, but just not quite able to outlast. But that was not a full buy round. This is the full buy round, so Eros will get a pass, or an ever so slight pass for that one. But we need to see some action out of Eros now.
Yeah.
Granted, they had AKs last round, but still.
Cage just outside of the window. He's sitting on top of the cat cage now. There's some utility usage here going over the wall at A, but Wiz is going to shut down JT as he comes to the site, followed by Hex grabbing Omniscient with another headshot. Meanwhile, at B, a shutout does grab Jitter as he's on the move for the rotate. Tom's going to start moving his way towards B halls, the back of T spawn. Beaky's going to be able to drop Wiz in the back of the CT spawn staircase there. And Freshie's going to grab Chop as he comes up the staircase of the lower B halls. Shutout, grabbing one more inside of the B site onto the market. The bomb is going to go down. It's all left to Walco here, and this is looking like a very good chance for Eros to get on the board. Walco's going to pop flash for himself and start moving his way into the site. With the amount of money they have on their side, there's no point in not going for this. Does dodge the flash from Freshie, but no peek behind it. Shutup's going to pop out at the perfect time from the market door. grab Walco as he just moves up past the pillar on Cap.
And Eros does break the streak, secures their first round of the match. But obviously RBG with a lot of cash to fall back on there. They will be on 4 silenced and 4's whiz on the AWP once more. And I'd like to see Eros maybe get some under window action here. Maybe get a man in window early.
Yeah, they've been playing mid.
Mid.
Kind of passively the last couple of rounds from the window location itself. They do some initial utility out there, then they kind of just leave it up to the cat and connector players. Pressure with a great flashbang through there. That gets Wiz out of position inside of the B halls. And Walker will pick up JT though at the top of mid from the connector. PQL also been hit down to 45 HP between, I believe, a grenade and a molly there. Ooh, Freshie with a great shot under Wiz inside of the B site from apartment window and move his way into the B site now. Unfortunately, Shutout's going to be cut out by 3 different players in mid. He's not much he could have done about that there. Freshie, though, has moved all the way into the market and grabs Chop as he gets on the rotate. They do see that nade comes from the cat area, so they're going to have an idea of where Jitter is currently. They're left in a 3v3 here. BT's going to pick up the op. He's going to be a dangerous man with that. They're going to boost up onto the cat cinderbox there. They think better of it. Freshie with another kill here on the start of this B hold. The bomb still has not gone down yet. It's still trapped somewhat in the B apartments. And Hex is going to grab BQ wow on the back of the bench.
All up to
Just
Hex.
down to him now. Yep. Oh, but Freshie with an incredible frag as he walks across the B site. Finds Hex in the head, and that's a great 4K there for Freshie to keep his team alive in this must-win round here.
I was a bit concerned there for a second. I've seen Hex pull off some wild plays before, so you just never know, right?
Yeah, Hex is also already going off a little bit in this game. 11-4. He's doing some numbers for his team. Hex has moved his way all the way up to the front of the ramp there. He gets a good flashbang, but unfortunately for him, BQ while only half flash is able to get that headshot back towards him. Wiz in the center of the catwalk there is going to pick up shutout. There's 2 more frags coming out for his team. It's up to Freshie and Omniscient.
Two v2, still a lot of time left in the round for us to RTB at a 2-on-2. Wiz awaiting the push from Freshie from the back of a ramp. Does hit that headshot. Omniscient left in a 1v2. But Chop gonna finish him off there. Just
unfortunately for Omniscient, I believe he noticed his shoulder at the very last second as he crossed across those triple boxes.
I'm fixing just a couple settings here behind the scenes, so I'm going to let you take over for this round, Ben.
Yep. You see a force buy here out of Eros. Nothing too crazy. They kept enough money so they can probably get a good buy into the next round. But with just 2 AKs, they're going to be in a pretty hard spot to make this round start, especially with Omniscient already going down to 20 HP off of a good molly inside of the A ramp. Beaky and Freshie have moved their way all the way up just underneath the window, and they're going to peek out and grab Wiz off of a good boost there, just off of the little ledge outside of the staircase. Oh, Chop will grab Shutout, though, as he tries to move onto that apartment balcony. We're going to start moving that bomb back towards T-spawn. Omniscient has made his way onto A into the sandwich already. He's got some good information there. Unfortunately for him, though, there is still 1 player lurking in the apartments, which is where Beaky and JT are started ahead. It's going to be Walco. He's going to pick up Beaky and start falling back. He throws a smoke behind, or actually, not sure what that was. There comes the smoke. Took him a little bit to get that out of his hands. Omniscient has moved all the way up to ticket booth, but unfortunately Hex is sitting there waiting for him. He will grab that frag. And that's going to be just 1 rifle left in the hands of Freshie here to work with. Oh, unfortunately, a slight lineup there between JT and Freshie prevents them from being able to get the kill before Walker can pick up JT. Down to Freshie in a 1v3 here. He grabs that bomb and starts to move his way back towards the T spawn, but Hex is right on his heels from A ramp.
As time expires, looks like Freshie will successfully save that AK-47, and RBG with a pretty substantial lead here in the first half, man. What does Eros need to do?
They need to probably get together and try and take a little bit more map control. They've been giving a lot of information at the start of these rounds. People have been able to push into the palace, push through the tunnels a little bit. Because of that, the RBG players have so much information that they don't need to worry about one of the sites usually. They can kind of stack up. They also need to start winning these opening frags. These 1v1s are definitely mostly going the way of RBG. It's just unfortunate that they're working like that. They also don't really have anybody around to do trades when those are happening. BK Wild is going to pick up two before he gets traded out by Wiz from the back of the CT stairs, and he's going to be in a great position to possibly pick up Freshie as well, and he does. Yeah, I would just like to see them getting some more value out of the initial conflicts that they're making by stacking these 1v1s to the CTs without using much utility for them. They're kind of just getting to a loss right out the get-go because of no trades coming through.
Yeah, that was a bit of a painful rifle round there.
Yeah.
Eros going to be on 4 Deagles. Shutout on the Tech 9 here in round 12. Wiz going to drop 1 in B halls. No trade goes out. Looks like it's going to be a 2-2 split towards B2. B halls 2 up catwalk. Wiz still at the end of B halls. And he does drop B key. Bomb is down. Freshie good for the trade. Omniscient able to take out Wiz as well. Jitter able to headshot Freshie there. The front of the site takes down Shutout as well. That's the only Omniscient remaining. Jitter continuing the silenced M4 headshots, and that's going to be RBG now up by 8. Eros will be on another full rifle round, but they really need to pull off some innovation here and get at least 2 more, or yeah, at least 2 more rounds, ideally 3 before the half. 3 might be
if they can do it. JT picking up the op here is a pretty good change in my opinion. If they can get a couple of quick op kills from JT, it should really open up this round. And this is going to be looking at Palace, and the rest of his team is starting to work towards the upper B halls and just trying to get somebody down a place in mid as well. We chopped his spot, Shutout as he makes his little jump there into the kitchen area. He'll throw a grenade right up behind it and get him down to 62 HP off of it.
Yeah, Eros continuing to let some time off the clock here. Just over a minute remaining. Shutout did take a bit of damage there in that initial skirmish. Eros now rotating back through T spawn towards A. They are leaving 1 lurker on his way towards mid, kind of watching that mid push. But RBG not interested in pushing too far through mid at the moment, kind of just holding their positions now.
But this is going to move up, try and get shut out here. He does grab him as he moves up himself onto that ramp. He does put us in a 4v5 here as they begin to take over the A site. A lot of time is ticked down here though, and because of that, Wiz is going to be able to get a shot onto JT because the smokes have started to dissipate. That puts the bomb down, and that's a very precarious situation here for Team Eros to try and pick that up. Freshie does grab one of the Jitter though, but not before Hex is able to trade out and grab a second, and with Chopped right behind him, they'll grab all 3 players from Eros to the site.
Yeah, clean finish there for RBG. Eros might still go for the buy here. JT a bit low on cash, but it is going to be another full buy from Eros. 4 AK-47s. JT still undecided here. JT ultimately purchasing a Desert Eagle Omniscient, leading the way out of Palace, but Wiz patiently waiting there at stairs. Able to drop in Beaky and Shutout. Able to trade back +1. Shutout able to headshot Welko on stairs as well. Freshie clears backside. Jitter does get one from Cat, but it's only Jitter remaining versus 3. Bomb planted. And we needed to see more rounds like that earlier in the half from Eros.
Yeah,
man.
I agree. Still 2 maps to work with, even if they do end up dropping this one, although I doubt they will. They have more than capable CT side of bringing themselves back into this game, even with only 2 rounds so far. It looks like Jitter is content to hold on to his M4 for the next round. He's going to creep up on him, though. He may have just enough time to be able to get him. Jitter's going to drop one more, and Peaky as well, and that's a bit unfortunate because the money is still being established somewhat on the T side. They will have enough, I think, here to afford mostly rifles, but they're going to be lacking some utility. And with the amount of utility they have, I'd like to see them just go for a straight-up push. Try and get something going real quickly before they can get a counter from the CTs going.
I will say I just casted Eternal Fire coming back from this exact scoreline. They were down 11-3 on the T side.
Freshie's going to start us off with a great shot there out of Walco. He was trying to lurk up the B tunnels. And Jitter just made the jump off the catwalk. I believe Beaky heard that. He's also going to see that Molly come in. Chop, though, has moved all the way up into the kitchen and grabs 2 with that MP9. Just unfortunate there as we're down to a 3v3, and Hex is going to break that a 3v2. It's on to Beaky on this and here in this last round. Beaky, though, just barely had that lineup for the headshot. He was trying to make sure he got it, but Hex is going to escape with his life. I believe if Beaky and Omniscient can get this initial kill into the B site onto Jitter, they have a pretty good shot of this. CTs are all pretty spaced out currently, so the rotate will take a little bit of time for them to get to. A good initial flash there, but Jitter has not yet been found in sight, and they already have a man in window. Jitter's going to grab one more, but Beaky, a great play there, picks up 2, and it's all down to him versus Wiz. Wiz, though, quick on the rotate.
Beaky with only 20 HP, a bit concerning here. Fakes the plant, checks B halls, but Wiz over by cash register at the moment. He still has full HP. He hears Beaky going for the plant. Beaky gonna have to be careful on this peek. He's spotted. Somehow gets tagged for only 8 HP through the spam. Repeaks window, but Wiz able to finish him off with the A1S. That will
great
be
try
a
there by
12th
Beaky.
round there. Yeah, solid half from RBG to say the least there. Eros really gonna have to surprise us and win several rounds in a row here to get back into this one.
They can get off to a good start here with the pistol round. I do believe they could have more than enough opportunity to get there. CT side being so oppressive on this map still keeps them in this game. They just need to start stringing some rounds together and keep the economy down for RBG. Volko's going to grab JT right at the start and get back into the ticket booth. on this and there, they'll trade him out. Unfortunately, there are 2 more coming the way of RBG as they take out Freshie on this themselves. Beaky with a great shot on the chop, even though he was half blind. Wiz is going to go down to 16 HP.
Beaky with only 40 HP. Not much he can do here. Advances towards triple, trying to get at least one, but ultimately finished off by Wiz in that burst fire from triple box. We'll see if Eros decides to force here or not.
I'm just going to play pistols. Try and get as much as they can for the next round. See a very quick cat push here by RBG. They're going to start moving in from the connector. Under that A site where no players from Eros are currently, as they have decided to do a full stack onto B. Bomb gets picked up from the A ramp, and they have control of A entirely. They're going to start getting that bomb down now. Next is going to quick up 2 very quickly from that window. A third as well. And he will eventually go down from the player at the van there, shut out. Cool eventually trades him out. And just left a Beaky behind the park bench, and unfortunately, Jitter with some great AK fire there will grab a headshot into him as well.
Eros will finally be on that defensive rifle round. This is their absolute last chance to get back into this map. 5 silenced M4s, 4 sets of head armor. Rough map 1 here for Eros, but regardless of the outcome of this map, they just need to keep their heads clear, stay calm, and just be ready for whatever happens in map 2. Freshie and Omniscient pushing down the A ramp, and it pays off. Freshie does take down Chop. I was a bit skeptical about that aggression, but the pick does go out without Eros taking any damage and receive.
Oh, and Shoutout's going to grab 2 as well. Wiz will eventually trade him out, but that stops that cat push pretty much in his tracks, and JT is going to finally find him as well. Left the Jitter. Jitter will grab JT just off the barrel stack by the car. I believe he's taught his Beaky there just barely, but Freshie's going to come in behind him and help clean up that last frag.
Eros able to get a 4th round. Looks like Omniscient will be dropped a weapon from a teammate there. I believe it was Freshie.
Wiz is going to grab the op. No armor. Hex is relegated to just a Tech 9, but the rest of his team rocking a Galil and 2 KKs. Well, a good nade at the start of the round up the mid is going to grab Wiz down to 55 HP. That helps a lot. Little smokes and flashes going over the A wall. Start moving up the ramp. He's made it all the way around the hell corner there. Beaky Wow, though, in great position to slow that down. He gives 2 as Freshie grabs 1 as well. Freshie will get traded out by Chop, who's inside of the palace doorway. Gets sprayed down to 47 HP, and it's just down to him and Wiz. Wiz still rocking that op, though. Could make a difference in this round.
Yeah, Chop and Wiz maybe just a bit low on HP here. Shutout does finish off Wiz at ramp, so Wiz looked like he could have at least taken a couple shots there. Not sure if he just got caught off guard or what.
He was looking towards the palace. I think he was trying to find Beaky there. Chop gonna look for some exit frags here. Start moving his way towards the B tunnels. B halls, that is. Makes his quick little run over towards B. Eros not out of this yet. They are showing some great defenses here so far, now that they have rifles in their hands.
I still believe I've seen him do it before. I know RBG is a really sharp team now. They've been rising through the ranks. I know they didn't get the wins they were looking for at the EPL conference, but despite of that, RBG does have a lot of impressive wins recently. And they did just take Party Astro to overtime on back-to-back maps on Friday night in Premiere, I believe. I'd have to double check that here in a second. But I know it was back-to-back maps of OT.
RBG stuck to just 1 AK this round. They're going to start moving towards the B side. Walko does jump across to the boxes in top of mid. Chop, though, is going to get shot through the smoke all the way down to 11 HP. Beaky's going to grab Wiz with the op that he picked up off of Wiz's body. And Nissan does get dinked, but not before he's able to drop both Hex and Walko. Jitter, though, down below, is going to get mollied now from both sides. He's going to have to run away. It's down to him and Chop. Chop not looking too great right now. Jitter and Chop looking for anything they can do to get back into this round. Waiting on some out-of-place players here from Team Eros, but unfortunately, JT is going to be in a perfect position for Chopped as as Freshie is able to pick up Jitter too as he comes around the corner at mid.
Yeah, and maybe if Eros could have started out on the CT side, things would be a bit different here, but regardless, they still should have had a better showing in the first half. Not to take anything away from RBG, but obviously if they could have just held RBG to, you know, 10 or 11 rounds right now, this comeback would seem much more reasonable.
Nelson's going to get dropped by Walko as he comes around the corner there off of a flashbang. They're going to grab a shutout out of position as well as he tries to make his way back into the connector before they come around the corner there. Freshie, though, does grab Chop there at the top of the apartments. Unfortunately for Freshie, though, he's going to get caught by Hex as that smoke dissipates on the A ramp, and Jitter's going to grab JT from the back of the park bench and the B site. We're down to Beaky with just an out.
And Beaky not thrown in the towel here yet, lurking towards Market, but will be finished off by Jitter there through Market entrance. RBG now sitting at map point, leading 15-6 here on map 1. But as I said earlier, even if the round ends right here, right now, Eros just needs to keep a clear head for map 2. They can still pull something out. This is a best of 3. In middle gets a second kill into Freshie just outside triple box. Shutout, meanwhile, does kill Hexed over in the A site. Or excuse me, was that an underpass?
I think it was.
So things not going as planned there for Hex. Beaky, meanwhile, making the peek from Palace. Does take down Chop. This is a 3-on-3. Walko still getting aggressive outside connector. Pushes towards jungle. Headshot shutout, but gets flanked by JT. Beaky good for one more off kill here at the A site. Jitter did eventually trade out onto JT. Leaves us in a 1-on-1. Jitter with only 8 HP though. Believed he got tagged up by JT right before he died. Beaky still with 95 health and the AWP in hand. And he doesn't know about Jitter's health. Regardless, he might still use the op for the long range there. But, man, this would be a pistol situation. Oh!
Oh, my goodness. What a quick scope.
Lord almighty, Beaky. Wow. Jesus, that was such a quick scope that it literally looked like a no scope here on Go TV. It was like a 0.05 second flash of a black scope there.
73 Twitch listeners just had their headphones explode.
Yeah, hopefully
Great
everyone's
shot, though. Definitely worthy of the reaction. I can't say it wasn't.
hopefully everyone's watching on speakers maybe so they don't literally have headphones on. Maybe they're like a few feet away from their TV or their monitor or their sound in general. Yeah, I'll try to back away a bit from the mic on my next outburst. Walko able to get that initial pick there at mid. Beaky with another nice trade through murder window. Still a one-man advantage here for RBG. Less than 45 seconds remaining.
I'm going to start making his way towards B. It's in the upper halls right now. He's going to meet up with Jitter there. Hexton and him going to slowly move on to the B site. JT moving his way back into the B is going to have to deal with, I believe that's Chop back there? Yeah, no, Wiz. Sorry, Wiz. But he's going to find him as he tries to get into that market door. Unfortunately, Beaky's going to trap, though. JT as well, as they are moving on to the B side itself. Freshie with just an MP9 in his hands is going to have to take on 3 here. He does take out the first 2.
Chop left in a 1v1, but time expires.
Yeah, great play there by Freshie to try and just
very well played by Freshie. Just to sidestep just far enough back into market to not be seen there. Because if he would have been killed a half second before, this map would be over there.
Yep. And they are clawing their way back into this game. 7 rounds left to get to the overtime. They've already made up for 6, I believe. Maybe 5. Well, Beaky with a great cheeky little pop flash for himself in the lower tunnels is going to grab Jitter as he comes down that staircase. It's a good start to this round for Team Eros.
Advancing towards the A side. Eros gonna have to come up big on the stops here. Freshie gets the first. Beaky and Shutout combining for a couple more picks. Chop does get the trade there onto Beaky. Wow. It's gonna be only Chop remaining there. And Palace, he's tagged down to just 38 HP. Shutout somehow surviving that chaos with 2 health. But barring some sort of tragedy here, this should be a 9th round going the way of Eros. And there's still a glimmer, a shine, a hope of overtime in Eros' eyes here, Benjamin.
Yep. They've gotten momentum back on their side, and they are slowly bringing themselves back from the depths.
I can still see the shining speckle in their eyes. They know they can still pull this off. Freshie, by the way, having a ridiculous game right now, leading the Surfer with 27 kills. Bit wild there. Just based off that statistic alone, you actually would think the score would be much closer. But obviously, Eros slipping on some rounds that they weren't expecting to. Freshie does get that initial MP9 headshot at A ramp. No trade goes out. Jitter doing some damage there down cat towards ladder room, but Eros should be able to get this round, Ben.
Yep.
Freshie takes down 1 more there in Palace. 2 Deegs and a Glock remaining here for RBG.
RBG started to fall to the same issues that were somewhat plaguing Team Eros at the start of this map. They've had these players in position for these 1v1s, but there's nobody around for the trade. And that gets them in a deficit pretty quickly.
Honestly, even this comeback so far from Eros is pretty impressive. You got to give it to him.
Yeah. They have not given up. The bomb will get stopped from planted as JT is still waiting in sight for that. The last player's running up Cat right now, but we have 2 players on the connector. They're going to be able to find him. Freshy's going to grab him with the MP9 from across the lane there.
I mean, I hate to point it out, but there's a lot of teams, even premier level teams, that probably would have gave up just after that first half score. But Eros still fighting tooth and nail here. I mean, they just need 5. I won't say just, but now they need 5 in a row to push to overtime. Obviously much more doable than it was earlier in the half here. Eros getting aggressive at mid. Walco in the midst of that smoke. Catwalk hasn't been seen. Takes out Shutout on the flank angle. No trade goes out. Walco able to headshot Omniscient as well. Eventually traded out by JT on Catwalk. BK able to headshot Chop coming out of Palace there. JT able to get another at middle. I may have said JT's name once more than I meant to there, but obviously nice plays from both Beaky and JT there. Hex with a nice headshot towards Cat. It's JT who falls, but it's only Hex remaining here after Freshy's good for that FAMAS pick at middle. Hex left in a 1v2. Eros obviously can't take anything for granted here. Hex, one of the all-stars here on this RBG squad. And he's known for his
great position though for him to get him through the window. And he does. Great play there from BK with good situational awareness.
Freshy now with 32 kills. And this has been an impressive performance from him. And if you just joined right now and we're only looking at the scoreline, you would never have guessed that Eros was down 12-3 at the half, but that was the situation. Hex leading the way onto the A site. Chop still there in Palace. Jitter advancing towards Stairs. Omniscient able to take out Chop with that nade toss towards Palace. Jitter hops over sandwich to Stairs. Takes down Tiki Wow from the high angle. Wiz able to get one more backside, but Omniscient able to get the trade from Jungle. Smokes are down at Stairs and Connector. Hex still fighting here by Ticket Booth. He's actually tagged from Connector. Omniscient able to finish him off through the triple box. Hex down. Bomb still planted. Jitter on the re-peek. Takes down JT at Stairs. Omniscient gonna pick up that AWP at Stairs. Shutout with a beautiful headshot. Partially through the smoke there. CT spawn. Walco does get the trade. It's all up to Omniscient here. 1v1 situation. He does have the health advantage. USP out, but he's not quite able to finish off Walco. It was so close, Ben. It was so close.
Oh my goodness. Omniscient actually hit Walco through the boxes once with that op, but it just wasn't enough to finally take him out. And it's a heartbreaker here for Team Eros, as that was a very winnable round. It just unfortunately went the other way.
And yeah, after a 12-3 half, actually might have gone up even to a 14-3 here. Have to look at the stats again, but ultimately Eros with an impressive comeback there and not quite able to pull it off in the end, but they still made it very exciting there in the second half, Ben, and I'm looking forward to what they can do in the second map. Let's actually check the map lineup over here again. We were switching in between casts before this game come up, so I haven't digged too deep, but it looks like the second map is indeed RBG's pick of Inferno. So that should be very interesting. Both of these teams with some very big wins on Inferno specifically recently. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the second map. Don't go anywhere.
Well, can you tell me something, tell me something. Well, can you tell me something, tell me something. 'Cause I'm so sick of this friend zone.
got them watching from Paris to Paris, yeah. With this music was lurking, now I'm attacking. Now with the chatting, I just step up and make it happen. It's a lifestyle. Living young and restless, yeah, we quite wild. If I want it, I'ma get it talking right now. And I ain't got no regrets, it's my time now. Lights out when you see us talking moves. You don't know that's the topic. And if you talking juice, well damn you know I got it. Damn you know I got it. Nobody got it like me. You know. Got it like they can try, but can't do it like Vinny. Yeah, no permission. I got it.
Chasing love in an empty bar. Pour a drink till I make it past. The midnight hour seems to come and go, but I know. Walk on up with a drink in hand, sipping mixers cause you can. And all the lights begin to switch off. You're chasing the light, holding on for holding on for life, feeding the high, chasing the night, chasing the night. Hotel rooms and city squares, champagne bottles, drum and snare. The sights and cities seem to fall away when you stay. Locked in love for a night or two, losing sleep just to get off you. Day to day you wanna stay out. You're chasing the light, holding on for life, fading out. Chasing the light, chasing the light, chasing the light. Chasing the night.
Call my bluff for the last time. This ain't a song, it's a battle cry. No life. I see the clue between the strobe lights. I'm haunted, black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay?